This is us, camped at an epic spot overlooking the tallest and perhaps most dangerous volcano in the continental United States. What makes it so dangerous, you might be wondering? Well, stick around and I'll explain it all, along with how we found ourselves at this secluded spot high up in the Cascade Mountains. Well, we're just south of the town of Greenwater, and our aim for the day is to try and find a Mount Rainier view campsite where we're as close to the mountain as we can possibly be while not being in the national park.
12 seconds later.
So did I say we were going to try and get as close as we could to Mount Rainier and get a campsite? Well, turns out as soon as I stopped filming and turned the camera off, we ran into a forestry truck and they are logging up here. So the road is closed, which is quite a surprise. But anyway, we're gonna find a plan B. I think we'll fire up Onyx just to see what's around, if there's a trail we can take, get a little bit of intel. Onyx Off-Road is kind of great for those like quick reroutes because they've got some trails that are already established. And so I think we might do a little research there and see what we can find. And hopefully Onyx will be able to get us to a great spot to camp tonight. So we'll see, fingers crossed. All right, well, I think I found another option. It looks like we can kind of work our way, kind of like we're working our way up Stampede Pass. And looks like we've got some options up there, and if not, we know where there's some good spots up at Stampede Pass, so I think we'll head up that way. Okay, well, we found camp, and I'd say we did pretty well, especially considering that this was plan B. So here we are. This is our campsite, and I promise you, even though you cannot see it, I promise you Mount Rainier is right there. It's right behind this bank of clouds, and if the weather forecast isn't lying to us, it's supposed to get clear around sunset. So I suppose we'll cross our fingers and hope that the clouds burn off, but either way, this campsite is beautiful, and this is why we love the Stampede Pass area. There's just so many great dispersed camping opportunities. And every time we come up here, we find a new one that's amazing. And what's really great about this particular campsite is that it's sheltered. You can see all around me, we have trees. And that's gonna be really nice, I think, tonight because it's really windy. There's a spot we've been to at a previous video when we were at Stampede Pass, where we camped just up above this. And that campsite is beautiful, but on a night like tonight, I don't think it would be very pleasant to try and sleep in. So I'm glad we got this spot, and I guess we just gotta wait for Mount Rainier to hopefully show up a little bit later. Mount Rainier has just been teasing us since we got here 2 hours ago, and it keeps looking like it's gonna open up and then the clouds roll back in, but it does look a lot better than it looked when we got here. So hopefully these clouds will burn off as we get towards the evening and we'll get a view of Rainier. But either way, it's so nice to be up in the mountains, and just the smells of the trees and the birds and the wind, this is my happy place. So couple more hours till dinner, and stick around for that, by the way, because dinner is gonna be something you have never seen on the channel before. We're gonna do something very different from what most camp dinners look like. We've got some new equipment, and we're gonna try something out and experiment and see if it works. We don't know, so stay tuned and we'll see if this works out or if it's a huge disaster. Okay, so earlier I said that we were gonna cook in a totally different way than we've ever cooked at camp. And the hint is behind me, as you can see. We have an all-in-one oven, air fryer, pizza oven, toaster thing. It's super compact, but it'll make just enough food for Christine and I. And so tonight, we've got some chicken wings that have been marinating, and we're gonna break this thing in at camp with air fried chicken wings. Powering it, we have a Blue Eddy AC 180 power station, which is like 1152 watt hours. And so I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be enough to cook the chicken wings. But we also brought some cookie dough, and we're gonna try and make chocolate chip cookies for dessert. So that might be asking a little bit much of this power station, but it's kind of, again, it's an experiment to see how much can we cook with that power station if we just use it for that purpose. And so hopefully there'll be enough battery for us to eat dinner tonight. All right, so we've got our marinated chicken wings, and it should be pretty much just as easy as taking this over to the oven and putting it in here. And we're gonna turn this to 400 degrees, and then all we should have to do is turn this to the air fry setting. No need to preheat it, and there we go. They are baking, or air frying, I guess would be the case. We'll see how this goes. So here, by the way, we've got our Blue Eddy AC 180, and just as a reference point here, we're starting at 93%. If you can see that, 93% battery we're starting at. This is drawing 1500 watts right now. And so down to 91%, we'll see if this is gonna last. I mean, you can see how quickly it's draining battery. So I don't know if this is gonna work, but fingers crossed, because I wanna eat dinner tonight. Okay, update. This might have been a mistake. We're a little over 10 minutes in. I just flipped the chicken wings. The reason I say that it might have been a mistake, though, is because of the battery. We're at 26%, although the usage has slowed down. Now it's only pulling 25 watts. Now that it's heated up, it's kind of bouncing back and forth, but 26%. And honestly, I'm pretty disappointed by this. I did a test at home, and I was able to cook these same chicken wings in the same oven with the same battery, and it took like 50% of the battery to cook everything. So I don't know if it's just because we're at higher elevation and it's colder out. I'm not sure what's draining the battery so fast, but at this point, we got like 8 minutes to go, and I really hope we get chicken wings, because we're not gonna have dinner tonight if we don't. So we'll see. And we made it. Just barely made it. But look at the chicken wings. They look excellent. I'm pretty excited about this. So in a sense, it was a success, but we did cut it awfully close. If you see, the battery is at, if you can see that, a little hard to see, but the battery's at 11%. success on one hand, but on the other hand, that took way more battery than I thought it was going to take. So no cookies tonight, which is a bit of a bummer. I was looking forward to that. But at least we got our dinner. That's, I guess, the most important part. So anyway, we'll turn the camera off and we're going to eat. Just as we finished dinner, the tallest volcano in the continental US finally revealed itself. A sight that, having lived here my whole life, has never become any less awe-inspiring. Towering over the Pacific Northwest, Mount Rainier is not just a breathtaking sight. It's considered to be one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. But why? Well, this giant stratovolcano is capped with more glacial ice than any other peak in the lower 48 states, and Rainier is known for causing lahars, fast-moving volcanic mudflows, that would prove devastating to nearby communities. As an example, the 1985 eruption of Nevado del Ruiz in Colombia triggered a lahar that likely killed over 20,000 people. With Mount Rainier's proximity to densely populated areas, it's estimated that some 80,000 people could be at risk from a large eruption. And with a history of violent eruptions, Mount Rainier remains a ticking time bomb, reminding us of nature's unpredictable power. Good morning.
It's cold.
It's really cold. It's the middle of July, and it must have dipped down into the, I don't know, 30s or something last night.
Yeah, I'm very thankful that we have a fireplace in the camper.
Yeah, it's nice. We didn't like run it overnight, but just to be able to run it when we got into the camper, as we got into bed, warm the camper up, and then same thing this morning, just turn it on for a little bit. And I get it, like we're kind of weenies. We're not talking about like minus 15
I'm
degrees.
A weenie. I'm okay. I'm okay admitting that. I mean,
Yeah.
hello.
You know, happy wife, happy life. So I'm trying to keep her happy so she comes and camps with me. And if she finds out that it's this cold in the middle of July in the mountains, if it wasn't for the fireplace, you might not come with me, and that would be a bummer. So, but yeah, everything worked out great. We'll probably get into this in a later video, in another video, when we do the walk around too. But we also changed our sleep setup a little bit.
Yes, upgraded. We got a Hess mattress and some pillows.
Yeah, the alu-cab mattress wasn't bad, but we did upgrade to the Hess after talking to them at Expo PNW, and it's the best sleep I've ever had at camp. Any other mattress I've ever used camping, I always get like pressure points, like my hips will get sore and I have to move around, like every couple hours I got to roll over. This mattress, it's just like sleeping at home, which is, I guess, the best thing you could say about a mattress when you're camping is that it's just like home. Yep. The pillows are great. And then we also added a blanket. It's called an Aeronaut is the brand, Aeronaut blanket. And it's like magic because it's super thin and lightweight, but it's filled with down and it's incredibly warm. So we're getting used to the sleep setup where we're not sleeping in sleeping bags and at the same time trying to stay warm. And so I think we did pretty well last night because I think we were both warm enough. Were you warm enough?
I was.
Yeah. So warm enough without the heater in the middle of the night, just with the blankets and things like that. So we'll dive more into that when we do a full camper tour eventually. But yeah, beautiful spot. And it's nice how clear it is this morning. The mountain is out, so we're just enjoying that with our coffee and our tea. Before we hit the road, we've got to work tonight, work obligations, so we got to get out of here. But I think we'll run the rest of Stampede Pass. I think we might as well just run it all the way north to I-90 because it's going to be more pleasant than backtracking through Greenwater. So anyway, just a great Thursday, random Thursday in the mountains. Oh man, it feels so good to get out of the city and explore.